Hello everyone. We're taking a very quick look today at James chapter 2 verses 14 through 19. Now you know what the point is of this paragraph, don't you? Yes, it's hard to miss. Faith and works are inseparable. Works are not optional for the person who claims to have faith. What we want to know is, what is the connection between this paragraph and what precedes it in chapter 2, verses 1 through 13? And you remember that in those earlier verses in chapter 2, the problem is James's readers have a disdain for the poor. And what he is telling them and us is that genuine faith cannot show favoritism to the rich while despising the poor. Why is that? Because true faith is only genuine faith when it is accompanied by and expressed in acts of obedience, acts of kindness, acts of mercy. And doesn't this tie in well with chapter 1, verse 27? Here's what pure religion is. It's acting out our faith. It's helping those who need us. The poor, yes, but widows and orphans in their distress. That's what true religion is all about. So, in the section that we are considering now, it's the author's intention to define the nature of saving faith. What is it? Belief plus deeds. A mere intellectual conviction is not faith at all. Now, we have a question when we come to verse 18. And the question is, who is the someone who is speaking? We assume that it is an objector to what James has been saying. So the objector in verse 18 is saying, okay, some people have faith, others have works. The person who has faith is just as religious as the person who has works. They are both just exercising their gifts. And if that's true, I think verse 19 may also be the words of an objector. The objector is saying, hey, you do well because you believe that God is one. That is, you hold to the correct belief about God. And even the demons believe that. And so in verse 20, we have James replying to the objector's words in verses 18 and 19. Now, let's apply this short paragraph. What is James telling us, and how can we apply it? Genuine faith is not merely right belief expressed in a confession of doctrine. Why is that? Because faith requires deeds to express its authenticity. Now this makes sense to us, verse 15. You've got a person, a Christian, a brother or sister, who lacks enough clothing and who lacks food, and you say to that person, be warmed and filled. Well, what good is that, James says? You haven't accomplished anything. That certainly illustrates his point that faith and works are inseparable. And then we have verse 19. Anyone can see, surely, the folly of this argument. The demons don't have faith. They have the correct belief, yes. They believe that God is one, so they have the correct doctrine in mind. But they don't act on that doctrine. They don't act on that faith. So then, faith is belief plus deeds. To believe that God is one is necessary, but it's insufficient. And we may need to hear this truth over and over again. That right doctrine is important, but it is not enough if we would please God. We want to believe what is true, correct doctrine, but if we're not acting on that belief, and if it's not expressed in deeds of kindness and mercy and obedience, our faith is really dead. So, the question is, how are we expressing our faith? Are we expressing it in acts of obedience? Are we expressing it in acts of kindness and mercy? I hope so. Let's work till Jesus comes. Now, in the next text, Paul is going to use the examples of Abraham and Rahab to make his point, and I'll see you then.